So, being a month into Splatoon 3's launch, there's one final mode of the base game that we haven't seen yet, and that's Big Run. In case you're new to Splatoon 3, Big Run is supposed to be a more intense version of Salmon Run, where the Salmonids leave their spawning areas and invade Inkopolis and Splatsville. In the case of the first Big Run, the Salmonids will be invading Wahoo World and Inkopolis. Besides what I've just said, we know next to nothing about Salmon Run. Like, when will it be? How long will it last? How big of a deal is this mode? What are the consequences of Big Run? Why are the Salmonids invading Inkopolis? We don't know any of this, and it's pretty crucial stuff for Big Run. So there is actually a bit more that we know. Oatmeal Dome, who if you didn't know is probably the most prominent Splatoon data miner, searched through Splatoon 3's files and found next to nothing. But what was found was the fact that before we get the Big Run, we'll get an announcement for it. After the Big Run, the quote-unquote results of the Big Run are announced to the players. There might also be a new square akin to how we have the Splatfest square, and that's about it. So we don't have much to work with here. So when Oatmeal Dome first brought up the whole Big Run square thing, this seemed to be a thing they were a little less confident on. Also, should have noted this earlier, but as of update 1.1.2, there's nothing on Big Run actually in the game besides the things that have already been discovered. Now, back to the square. Personally, I have doubts on us getting a full revamp of the square. For one, I just don't believe Big Run is going to be this like Splatfest equivalent thing. I think it'll probably just be like peak Salmon Run. What I mean by this is how Splatfests are like mandatory as in they cut off rank modes in order to play during multiplayer. I mean like Salmon Run's still open during a Splatfest, but unless Grizzco weapons are in rotation, then you're probably not going to be playing a Salmon Run during a Splatfest. And I don't think the opposite will happen here. I think the normal turf and anarchy will still hold most players' attention, where during the Big Run, there's just going to be more of a push towards Big Run, rather than it be what all the players are doing. As for a hypothetical Big Run themed square, I don't think we'll get one because unless Nintendo is holding back music for a Big Run update as well, which I don't think they're doing because there's already currently unused music in Splatoon 3, there's no specific backstreet themed around Salmon Run. So if you didn't know, there are two tracks that play around the backstreets of Splatsville around where Table Turf Battle is. One of these tracks plays when there's nothing eventful like a Splatfest going on and sounds like this. And one of them plays during the Splatfest square and sounds like this. It's a consistency that Nintendo seems to have established, but there's no third track of this nature, and one themed around Salmon Run for that matter. There are two very distinct sounding tracks considering how much gurgling piss is the most prominent noise of the tracks. So while you could argue that Big Run is different so there might not be a backstreet theme, but that would make Big Run an odd one out and give your argumentative odds of being right a 33% chance and mine a 66% chance of being right under the established argument, so therefore I've ratioed you, bozo. No, but in all seriousness, yes, it's definitely possible for there to be a square with no backstreet chant, despite how unlikely it is. But like I said, it's unlikely. Both squares in the game have them, and there isn't a third to be found. Could it possibly get added? Maybe. But like I said, Nintendo's already put tracks in the game that still haven't been used yet. Which, by the way, if you think they're for Big Run, they're not. They're holiday lobby themes. I'm not going off on a tangent about the word holiday being used in the game, but just know they don't have anything to do with any real world holidays. But there's no Salmon Run themed chant in the game. Okay, this section's gone on too long, let's continue. So, some new evidence showed up during production of this video. As of now, it looks like it's been confirmed that Big Runs and Splatfest will be interchangeable. By that, I mean it looks like 1 month we'll get a Splatfest, and the next we'll get a Big Run. While we haven't had a Big Run or even an announcement for a Big Run yet, it's been confirmed that the Pokemon-themed Splatfest Grass vs. Fire vs. Water is going to take place in November, meaning that we're either going to get a Big Run in October or nothing. I think it's very much more likely we'll get a Big Run because it wouldn't be normal for Nintendo to just have nothing in place for a full month. So as of recording this, it looks like we're going to be on the verge of a Big Run announcement pretty soon. So unless we get a Splatfest announcement in a few days, it seems like we'll have a Big Run lined up for October. Only issue is that, like already established, the game files don't have anything Big Run related in them yet. So we need a Big Run update before we actually see anything. Nintendo hasn't announced any updates coming in the next week or so. So where does this leave us? Personally, I have absolutely zero clue. I think it's a little silly to have a Big Run and Splatfest swap out, but that's an issue for another video. So to conclude, looks like Big Run will maybe happen every other month. There will be some form of announcement for the Big Run that will be taking place, and then after the Big Run, we'll get some sort of results of said Big Run. And during the Big Run, because I haven't said Big Run enough yet, there may possibly be a new Splatsville square, similar to how we get a different square like Splatfests. As of now, that's all we know about Big Run. So that's it from me. What do you guys want to see from Big Run? Let me know in the comments. I always read them. Alright gamers, see ya.